Yeah, so we're now live on YouTube because I'm an idiot and I went live on Blaze before going live on here. So welcome to Running the Bases. I might as well just restart because no one's listening on Blaze. People only care about the YouTube anyway. So this is Running the Bases. I'm Michael Garaffa, joined by Jared Carver. I did a little introduction of him on Blaze already. Small introduction. I've known Jared since freshman year of college. It's been a little while. I've been wanting to get him on the show, but today's finally the day as my co-hosts are unable to be here. Ryan and Nick are in Vegas, actually. And Spencer, I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but he couldn't make it out today. So welcome on. Again, you can have a
we're going deep into the depth chart today.
We really are.
It's like 2012 Cubs before you build up.
Yeah.
We're in Vegas. That's where I should be. That's usually where I would be during Final Four weekend. So
that's true. It is Final Four weekend. It's so exciting. And you know what's the sadder thing is that, well, yes, I've been following it a little bit. I haven't been able to follow it quite nearly as much as I do because of baseball coming back the time it did. I've been so kind of invested in baseball returning, and also with everything else that I'm doing. Life's just kind of hectic. But so today is I'm really glad I looked at the screen because I was like, oh, I'm not live. Today is the 2022 Major League Baseball predictions show. Normally this is one of our biggest shows of the year, but considering that I'm the only one,
I'm on it today.
It's even better. But because my other co-hosts aren't here, normally we all just, we start yelling at each other because of our predictions and things like that. But today I just have you here to critique me and provide your own feedback.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, last year we had people betting their houses on this show that the Dodgers were going to win the World Series. And I think I called you right at the show. What are you guys doing? So yeah, maybe it's for the best.
It probably is. Well, I'm probably not going to change my predictions because of something that Jared says. It's my mom says, yay, that you're here. She's very happy that you're on. It's going to be, I'm excited. Everyone else has filled out their predictions up through divisional stuff. So we're going to start off with divisions. I go 1 through 5 in order of where the division is. And everyone has their stuff in here, so I might as well go through that. But I'm the only one who has statistics and postseason stuff, except Ryan put in MVP and Cy Young and Rookie of the Year, but he did Reliever of the Year, but didn't. I don't know. It's kind of half filled out. But Nick and Spencer both stopped at the divisional stuff. So we'll get right into it, shall we? So with the NL East, this is probably one of the most unpredictable divisions entering the year because you've got the Mets and Braves. Everyone knows it's Mets Braves. This division is crazy. It's going to be really, really top heavy, obviously.
We're giving no love to the Phillies at all?
I think the Phillies are going to be third place, which I'll get to in a second, obviously. But I think it's top heavy in that it's, Braves, Mets, Phillies, and there's Nationals, Marlins. But like at the top, it's powerhouses. So I think there's a legitimate chance here for there's a definite chance that we could have 3 teams from the NL East making the playoffs this year, which doesn't, with a 12-team playoff system, it's more likely to happen going forward. But it's also going to be, I still don't understand quite how the seeding works yet. I think I've got it figured out for the predictions. I hope I do, or else the predictions I'm making are going to make no sense in October. But I have the Braves winning the division, and I'm intrigued to hear what you have to say because, we're kind of, for those that don't know, Jared and I have had many late night conversations on the phone. We talk for like an hour about baseball and we go back and forth. We have really great conversations. So I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts because I'm a Mets fan and I'm thinking the Braves are going to win it just because I like their lineup a little bit more. The Mets have the pitching rotation. The Braves have the bullpen and the lineup. I just think in the end, and they're going to ride that World Series, but I'm intrigued to hear what you got to say.
That's not where you're a Mets fan. That's news to me. So is this an emotional hedge pick at all? Like, okay, I'm going to say the Braves, even though I think it's the Mets, because if I'm wrong, it means the Mets won the division. Is there any part of that?
I guess that could be a little bit where it's like I'm happy both ways.
Was there any other move this offseason that could have happened that would have had, in your mind, the Mets or the Braves?
If the Mets got any reliever at all. They got Adam Ottavino, but I mean like a really good reliever, then it would have been theirs for sure. And if,
do you think that could happen?
Yeah, of course, but they might be far enough away at that point that it might not be possible. I mean, while yes, I anticipate it to be really tight to the wire at that point, but to me, the only reliever that they really could have gotten that would have put them solidly over the Braves is Josh Hader, and we all know the Brewers aren't going to trade Josh Hader. So, I don't know. If they didn't do that, they would have needed to get another bat or two, and then I would have felt a little bit better. But the bullpen right now is just not where the Mets needed. If the Mets went into the playoffs right now with this bullpen, they'd be screwed because it is not that great of a bullpen So definitely trade deadline is going to be a time to.
Who do you think
look at.
Vegas has favored at the moment to win that division?
The Mets.
Okay, so you've looked it up, or did you?
I haven't, no,
Very good,
but I
okay.
actually
So
did
why did you
see
say that so confident?
because I saw a tweet like an hour ago that said I saw a tweet an hour ago that said the Mets are the most favorite team to win the world. They're the most bet on team to win the World Series this year, which was really fascinating to me.
Some of that is obviously getting Scherzer. It doesn't mean, I mean, it's just also their odds, right? They're not
Yes,
favored, like,
of course.
Fits, so that adds a little bit of value there. So, but no, it doesn't surprise me in a big market town.
Yeah.
I think you're right going the Braves to at least to start. From what we know, from what we've seen, obviously the Mets have to stay healthy pitching wise. I mean, all teams do, but the Braves have shown they don't have to be healthy pitching wise, and they still can win the division. So I think that's why I go Thursday.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I would like to see the Mets win. Obviously, that would be great. But with the way the postseason format is now, they don't have to win the division to still get a good spot because there's a high likelihood that even if they do win the division, they're not necessarily going to get that 1 or 2 seed because let's say the Dodgers and Brewers, because to me, which we'll get there in a bit, the Dodgers and Brewers, one of those two teams, they're getting the 1 and 2 seed, which means that the winner of the NL East is automatically in the wild card series anyway. So because of that, it doesn't really matter whether you win the East or not. It's just be in the top 6 seeds. So I think for the Mets, it doesn't really matter that much to win the division unless you're going to get in those 1 or 2 seeds. So we'll see. I'm the one of 2 people who picked the Braves to win the division because Ryan also thinks the Braves are winning the division. But Nick and Spencer are riding the Mets train. And where things get interesting is that Spencer has the Phillies in second over the Braves, which is where we're starting to get into bamboozled territory already.
I mean, let's take the Giants last year, though, right? Like, I think that would have been crazier to say that than the Phillies would be.
It would have, but I don't know if you were watching the show last week when Spencer said that Mike Trout's the number 6 best player in baseball.
I was not watching that. It was a Sweet 16 night in Duke of Texas Tech, and it was an amazing game, so I apologize for that.
It's okay. So Spencer ranked Mike Trout at 6th in just players.
Did you guys lose it?
We lost it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I know.
He had Juan Soto above, Corbin Burns. He had Corbin Burns as the number 2 player in baseball. He went DeGrom 1, Burns 2, Scherzer 3, Soto 4. Who do you have 5? I don't remember who he had 5, but it was another pitcher.
So he's got him as the second best over every player.
Yeah, he does.
It's not crazy.
It's not crazy, but he still has him at 6. So that just gives you an idea into Spencer's thinking with some of these things. So he has the Phillies second, which if Nick and Ryan were here, we would probably, and Spencer's here too, we probably would be a little confuzzled about that, but it's all right. So I have it going Braves, Mets, Phillies, Nationals, Marlins. I don't think that's really that preposterous. I really can see that happening. It's the exact same Ryan has, but he has the Marlins and Nationals flipped. I don't know. I've got it can really go either way with the Nationals and Marlins in my eyes. I don't know. You have a
no. I'm not trying to go either way.
Yeah, it's really
talking about teams that likely aren't going to matter come September.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to running them over and getting free wins, it will. So then we go into the NL Central, and this is where things are a little interesting because 3 out of 4 of us have the Brewers winning the division, but Nick is going with the Cardinals to take home the division, which really surprised me. What's your thought on the NL Central?
Basically, same team as last year, the Cardinals, right? The same team back.
Pretty much, just with Pujols now.
Yeah. So is Nick adding that in his prediction? Did Pujols put the Cardinals over the top?
Probably not.
I mean, this is the weakest division in the National League, obviously.
Yeah.
The Brewers should beat up on this division. Offensively, we know. I mean, you and I had discussions last year.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, you did not like the Brewers because offensively, you didn't know what they were going to do.
Right.
You seem to like them. You're a little more on them now.
I am, yes, because offensively, maybe not necessarily a lot higher on them because I don't think they really made any major additions in the winter. But you've got now Burns coming off a Cy Young season. You've got Woodruff, and you've also got Freddie Peralta. Now, all 3 of them. You've got Eric Lauer, who's coming off a really good year. I'm more hinging also on Devin Williams being healthy this season fully for the whole year. I think it's going to be a much bigger year for them because of the pitching. And I think they'll do kind of what you said with the Mets, that they'll make a trade deadline deal that'll bring in a player, a hitter that'll really boost them to the top. because they shouldn't need to worry about hitting until then. They're going to pitch their way for the division win. They're going to hit their way in the playoffs and hit their way down the stretch to what I will eventually go and say to have the best record in the National League. And my reasoning for that is because look at this division.
That's true.
I mean, the Cardinals will probably win around 88, 90 games, which isn't terrible. But then you've got the Cubs, Reds, and Pirates. The Cubs may teeter around 76, 77 wins. I mean, they have the pieces to be around 500.
Reds and Pirates are in tank mode.
Right, the Reds and Pirates, honestly, I wouldn't see it as so terrible to even put the Pirates above the Reds at this point, because the Reds have just lost everyone and the Pirates have, some young players. But I do have the Pirates below the Reds. So, I don't know. I think, for me, the Brewers, between the Reds and Pirates, out of those, 22 games, they should realistically win about 15 of them, 16 of them. So, that's 15, 16 wins right there, plus with the Cubs of, 11 games. How many games do they play against teams in the division? Is it 20 games?
19.
Oh, okay, then I'm a little bit lower on that. So it's out of 36 games-ish between the Reds and Pirates, then they should probably win around 30 of them. I would be surprised if they didn't. And then add in the Cubs in there, maybe 18. They probably win 12 of those. That's 42 wins right there in your division, not even factoring in the Cardinals. So 42 wins, that's halfway to 500. Then you factor in the Cardinals and then other teams in the league. I mean, they realistically have a good shot, like I said, to have that best record.
So it's specifically with this bad record is only their division for you.
Yes, completely.
Where do you have them? Do you think they're better than the Mets and the Braves just as a team?
I don't. Overall, they're very even. We'll get obviously deeper into that when we get into the playoffs and stuff. It's okay. No, it's a valid question. I think when it comes to the Brewers, because they're going to have, I don't think they're better than the Mets right now. I really don't. Rotations are about the same. Bullpen favors the Brewers a lot, but the Mets lineup is significantly better. So that's 2 out of 3 for the Mets. And for the Braves, obviously, clearly Brewers. Bullpens are about the same. The Braves have a better lineup. To me, like I said, it's simply just the division. And then you also have to factor in that, I don't see many teams getting over 100 wins in the NL this year. Maybe one team, maybe the Brewers get 100, because Braves and Mets are going to be killing each other all year. They'll be lucky to get around 90 wins apiece. Dodgers, Padres, Giants are going to kill each other all year. The Rockies got a little bit better. So the Dodgers are going to struggle to get so many wins this season. It's not going to be an easy, divisional win for them, which is...
You got the Brewers winning significantly more games than anybody in the National League.
Not significantly, no. Maybe by a game or two. But I do think that them being in such a poor division.
Well, if you have the Mets, Braves around 90, then you were joking. So Brewers around 100, so you think Dodgers are hovering around that 90.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers, if I were to make I didn't put in this year the exact record, but if I were to guess, the exact record for the Brewers would probably be 162, maybe. And then for the Dodgers, maybe 98 wins. The Mets, maybe 90, or Braves, maybe 95, Mets 93, somewhere around there. Maybe even a little bit lower for the two of them. But I don't know. To me, I really see the Brewers eating up on that division, because it's going to be a really good opportunity for them. So,
who do you think? Do you think the Phillies have better odds to win the East, or Cardinals better odds to win the Central?
Cardinals, for sure. Definitely.
Would it shock you if at the end of the year the Cardinals won the Central?
It wouldn't shock me as much as the Phillies.
Okay.
Because the Cardinals are a good team. We know they're a good team. I don't know though. It would be very surprising to me, yes. But I mean, Nick has the Cardinals winning the division, and if Nick thinks it's definitely possible.
He's not putting his house in the Cardinals.
No, I'm sure he's not. It's probably
I'm sorry, Nick doesn't know me. I don't know him. He was going to bet his house in the Dodgers last year. So.
Yeah, I know he was. It was a fun one, but I don't know. I'd be surprised if the Cardinals won. I would. I really would be. I think, obviously, like you said, there are a lot of different factors, injuries, trades. Jack Flaherty being healthy this year would be a huge thing for them. If they lose him, like they probably will again, then they're going to be screwed, because they really need him to be healthy. If he's not healthy, they don't stand a chance. If he is healthy, then maybe if they fight their way, which they did last year and won, 16 games in a row. So I think it was a little less.
That's true. And I wonder if they're a little overvalued because what they did at the end of last year. Like, they don't have that run.
Well,
nobody's talking about the Cardinals right now.
That's true, but I think it's also a good thing that they had that run because I think they were a better team than their
But I'm
record
just
was
talking about how
entailing.
people perceive
Yes.
them, not like for them as a team, just how people
Yeah.
view them. In the division.
They probably, I mean, they would still be second for sure, but they would be a much farther second, and the Brewers would be a runaway win, and it would be the easiest division in baseball to win. But they definitely are a lot better in people's eyes because of that, I think for sure. So now we get to the West, and this is the Wild Wild West again. It's always a really fun division. The Dodgers have swept the board here, where all four of us have picked the Dodgers to win. So I don't think it's that big of a shock to have them there. Then we get into second and third, and this is where things get interesting. All of us have the Padres and Giants in here somewhere. I go Padres Giants at second and third. Ryan also goes Padres Giants, but then Spencer and Nick do Giants Padres. And now, for me, the Giants and Padres are both significantly worse today than they were a month ago. Because the Giants have had a million injuries, and the Padres losing Tatis is just crushing. So, as someone who's a Dodgers fan,
Well, I mean, I grew up in the
as a
area.
Dodgers
I go to
viewer,
games, yeah.
as a Dodgers viewer,
Viewer, there you go.
supporter in a way.
Oh yeah, I root for him over Atlanta.
Okay, yes. So as a Dodgers viewer over most teams, what's your take on the NL West?
What I find the Giants injury stuff is interesting. If that none of this stuff happened, where would you have? How far do you have the Giants back? When I was 97 wins last year. Well, no, they were 97. How many did they win last year?
106.
Oh, I apologize, Giants
106.
fans out there.
I
Okay,
think it was
maybe I had a
107
Dodger fan.
actually. 107
There
maybe.
you go. I had the 7 in my head.
I don't remember.
Wow.
It was something
Woo.
like that.
Okay.
Was
So
it
it's
100? I gotta figure that out.
no, I think you're right. It's 107.
Because they broke their
The
record.
Dodgers
I
have
think it was
106. So
Yeah.
He's ever had anybody.
right,
Um,
which we spoke about aplenty last year.
the Padres are still in that. For me, the wait and see. Like I just can't
Yeah.
believe it until I see it. They obviously got the talent. We know what they did in 2020. Obviously, a short season though. The Dodgers pitching. Who's their number? Who? Obviously, Kershaw's your number 3. Who's your number 4? Do they have a nice 1, 2, 3? What do they have after that? Bullpen-wise?
Gonsolin, probably. Gonsolin.
Yeah, and
Dustin May's
come
back.
And so yeah, obviously lose Knebel, you lose Kenley Jansen, so obviously you got bullpen stuff there.
Yeah.
You're hoping Blake Trinan can be great. Obviously he's had a close rule before.
Right.
And now you and I talked about the offense, even though you think there's maybe 2 or 3 other teams that are better than the Dodgers. I may disagree.
Yes, we
But
we
yeah,
did
you go Dodgers here. I think, but again, it's can the Giants do it 2 years in a row? Likely not. Who do you think is actually favored to be second?
with like in betting,
Yeah.
the Giants.
Actually, it's the Padres.
Is it
Padres
really?
Plus 350, Giants plus 550.
Wow.
So I'm not the only one who thought they only won 97 last year, so no one believes it.
Wow.
That surprised you a little bit?
That really does surprise me
Dodgers
because
are the biggest favorites of anybody in baseball actually win the division. Minus 220.
that doesn't shock me.
So $220 to win 100, we have to put down.
Right.
That's stay away from that. It's not great.
Yes,
Plus,
that's
you got a lot of money.
terrible. Yeah, that is well, to me the way that I look at it is the Dodgers got worse, well, a little bit because they got Freeman. So they got a little bit worse.
Well, so you say they got worse because they got Freeman.
They got I'm saying they got fairly worse and got Freeman, so it closed the gap.
Okay.
They still didn't improve the winner
Is the lineup better this year or last year?
this year, 100%.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah, no question, because they didn't lose any bats.
They lost Seager.
Yeah, but they replaced him with
Replaced him.
Freeman,
Okay.
who was a better player.
Okay, that's the one. I want to
So-
get to that point. If you thought Freeman was okay.
Yeah, he's a better
Okay.
player in my eyes than Corey
Okay.
Seager, and they're both elite players.
I think
but-
most people would say Freeman's better.
yeah,
Just wanna say that.
it's the rotation and bullpen that obviously the rotation is great, but they lost Scherzer, which is for the second half of the year really huge for them. And who the heck knows what Trevor Bauer is going to be this year if he plays at all, which obviously he'd like to, but that's a different story for a different day. But if he pitches this year, that's a big
Oh,
thing
it's
for them.
huge.
If they get him, I mean, that odds are through the roof. But because they've only got right now Bueller, Urias, and Kershaw really that are solidified in there.
Sign Heaney.
Yeah,
No, I know. I understand.
yeah.
A little lefties.
You've got 3 right now that
Yeah,
are
that's what I
solid.
said, yeah.
And even
Four
that,
is my
who the heck knows what Kershaw's going to be? You never know. So you've got that, and their bullpen did get worse. So, but again, even on that, the Padres didn't get any better at all. They didn't make any signings whatsoever this winter, which is a big blow for them because they had an opportunity. If the Padres made moves this winter, even maybe going out and getting Freddie Freeman, because I thought they were going to get Max Scherzer, get Freeman and Scherzer, they win the division. But they didn't. They didn't do anything.
What made the trade with the Yankees? Sure, themselves up with a DH.
Oh yeah, well, who knows what Luke Voigt's going to be.
Okay.
Well, I like him in the lineup. You've still got Eric Hosmer over there at first, and anytime you have a team that has Eric Hosmer at first, there's something wrong, because they could have improved that significantly, and it's not. They didn't get any better whatsoever. Maybe a little bit, but losing Tatis crushes them completely. Because to me, with Tatis, I would have had Tatis winning the MVP this year, but he's not going
You
to
got the young
because
kid
he's
CJ who can play shortstop, but obviously he's not Tatis.
right. And who the heck knows in his first year? So then you got the Giants who made moves, get a little bit better, but they also lost some guys. I mean, they lost Posey. They lost. Did they,
I feel like I shouldn't comment the Giants after my gaffe of 97 wins. Nobody wants to hear what I had to say about the Giants.
Well, you can. I don't. I'm not gonna hold it against you. And I'm the man that controls everything. So you
Boston's
can,
gone too. So
yeah, that's right. Gosman. He was the one they lost. So they lost Posey and Gosman, which are fairly big losses because now you've got Joey Bart catching. You don't know how he's going to do full year. You've also got doesn't he have a couple years under his belt already? I think he might.
Yeah, see, I try not to watch the Giants.
Yeah, I see that.
Giants and North Carolina basketball, we put those the same.
Oh, okay. So, is that North Carolina or is it NC State?
It's North Carolina.
Okay.
NC State as well, but not NC State's Padres. As I told you, Dodgers Padres. No,
Okay.
That's not a rivalry. Giants Dodgers. That's a rivalry.
Got it. Okay, because I like NC State's baseball team. Tommy White, fantastic.
Okay, baseball. Okay.
Yeah, their baseball club is
It's
incredible.
a baseball show. It should be.
It is. It's okay. We talk about random things all the time. So, yeah, the Giants they didn't get much better to me. They re-signed guys that they needed to in Wood, Desclafani, Leon, but I don't know. Like they're just not like last year. I think you're putting a lot. If you expect the Giants to win this year, you're putting a lot on an old Brandon Crawford and an old Brandon Bell having the seasons they did last year, which is not easy.
So the odds of them having back-to-back years like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean, it could happen, of course, but
yeah,
the odds are against it.
yeah, and factoring that in, it's definitely
Don't
very
have a
difficult.
closer though.
Yes, they do. They've got one hell of a closer, and they've also got one hell of a 1-2 punch out there with Webb and Carlos Rodon. But you need more.
You mentioned Rodon when you said that they didn't do anything. There you go.
Yeah, he's a very big acquisition. He was, to me really the main reason why they have a chance at finishing in second in the division.
Okay.
But I don't know. I've got them at third. I just think that's the most realistic thing for me. Everyone else then has Rockies 4, D-backs 5.
So not betting. I know you were really mad at the Rockies for what they've done. You were really
Yes,
mad.
I was.
So we're getting a tattoo if they win the World Series. Is that what we're doing?
I saved the tweet. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me go back.
My point is you're positive they're not going to win the World Series, so just tattoo if they win. It's not going to happen. You never know.
I think I'm getting actually a tattoo if they win the division.
Oh no,
okay.
but yeah, this should be right because you said there's no shot.
Oh no, yeah, I said, yeah, that's exactly okay. If the Rockies make the playoffs, I'll buy you a Rockies shirt. So this is
it should be a jersey if they win the division because
yeah,
then win the
probably.
division. What are they? Here we go. Let's see.
Probably like plus 6,000.
100 gets you 8,500.
Whoa!
Down,
Oh my
yeah.
God!
Likely not happening.
It's 80. It's plus 85.
85 to 1.
Oh my God!
Oh, North Carolina, 100 to 1 for the NCAA tournament. So you never know.
Wow. So yeah, if they make the playoffs, I'll buy you a Rockies jersey. If they win the division, I'll get a big Rockies logo tattooed to my back. And if they win the World Series, I'll buy everyone that liked the tweet a Rockies jersey, and 30 people like the tweet. So I could be really in the hole here. If they win the division and win the World Series, I'm going bankrupt and a shame for the rest of my life.
But my point was, that you were that positive. Let's put something on it. You have, which is good.
Yeah.
And likely you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I hope. I really do.
What do you think the Diamondbacks are? So 100 gets you what I said, $8,500. What do you think it gets you for the Diamondbacks in the division?
9,500. It's not that
15,000.
big. Oh,
so
it's
like
that big of a difference?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's insane.
Basically, they think the Diamondbacks are in the ACC.
That means nothing to me.
Pac-12. I thought you were a college baseball guy. Pac-12 now?
I am, but
Okay.
I don't follow
I hear you. Okay.
the conferences as
My
much.
point was
It's more
they're a
just
college baseball team. It's a joke.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
for
don't
me,
get mad
it's
at me out there, Diamondbacks.
it's my first year getting into college baseball, so I'm just more getting used to like the teams and the players, and then I'll get into the other stuff.
There's
as
way
the
too
years
much
go
talk
on.
on the D-backs already. So
Yeah, it is. All right, so now we go to the American League, and the American League East is by far going to be one of the weirdest and wildest divisions this year because all 4 of those teams are able Okay, we're not including the Orioles, obviously.
Shit, the Orioles.
All four of those teams in the AL East, not including the Orioles,
Mhm.
are capable of winning the division. They really are, and that's something we don't really see very often. And it's something I really can't wait to watch this year. But to me, there's one that stands above the rest, and that's the Blue Jays. And
An offense that you told me is better than the Dodgers.
I did, yes, I did say that, and I'm sticking with it. I am. I'm sticking with it. I'm very high in the Blue Jays this year. I think they're going to be a really good team. 3 out of 4 of us picked the Blue Jays. Spencer picked the Rays to win the division, which I think is very bold. But it's not completely out of the question.
The Rays are the Rays, man. Like it feels like every
Exactly.
When
We
in
say it
doubt,
every
the
year.
Rays.
Yeah, it seems like when you don't pick the Rays to win, they win.
You think
So
the last Nuggets traded by
No.
because he just comes back and maybe he's a closer. Obviously, when he comes back off the injury.
I don't know. That's if he comes back from
That's
the
true.
injury. He
That's
has to come back first, and if he does, it'll be towards the end of the season. Probably you're probably right. It'll probably be Syndergaard-esque. But I see. I mean, who knows what the Rays are going to be? You never know. They're always a wild card. Their lineup's really not good at all. I mean, I played MLB The Show with their lineup the other day. It's bad. Like the best player in that lineup is Wander Franco, and while yes, he's fantastic, the second best player in that lineup is Mike Zunino. It's not a good lineup. It's really hard to look at. Their pitching staff is a bunch of guys that no one knows the name of who are probably going to throw to a 1 ERA all year because it's just crazy. But they lost Colin McHugh, and he was really their best reliever. So I don't know. I've got the Rays in third.
Okay.
I go Blue Jays, Red Sox, Rays, Yankees, Orioles obviously are in last. But I want to hear what you think about the AL East because the AL East to me, it goes in terms of like making a tier. I got to make sure I'm on the screen right. So in terms of making it a tier, it goes Blue Jays, and then down here Red Sox, Rays, Yankees. And then obviously
So
the Orioles.
I think you should know. Obviously, again, we're going to talk about it. That's why I bring my thing up. Blue Jays are the favorite. Rays and Yankees are co-favorites to be second.
Wow.
And then it's a drop to the Red Sox. So 100 gets you 500 the Red Sox.
To
Plus
win the
500
division or to
win the
finish?
division.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen.
So Blue Jays and Yankees are plus 250 though.
Wow.
So
I wish they could do it and say like finish second, because if they had a finish second, it was plus 500. I'd pop $10
obviously
on
the Blue
that right
Jays,
now.
obviously, you kind of the Simeon Chapman thing, positive or negative?
Well, Simeon's gone.
No, and that's my point.
Oh, replacing.
Yes,
So
is
it's a
that
negative.
positive?
They
Okay.
lost. They lost.
So what
ground on
about
that.
Ray and Gossman? Is that positive or negative?
I'd say it's about a push because Ray only had one big
But you
season.
think the Blue Jays got better,
I do, yeah.
even though we talked about maybe offensive. So you're saying it's obviously the young guys. It's Bichette. It's
Yeah, but you've got
we're having another good
Springer
year.
hopefully having a full year, which he didn't have last year.
Sure.
He's hurt right now, of course.
Sure.
But you've got Springer with a full year.
Simeon was
You've got
amazing last year.
he was,
Incredible.
yes, he was.
So
But again,
it's-
it's another thing. It's just 1 year. You've got to keep it up.
True, that's fair.
While yes, he's been a lot better in the last couple of years. You've got to see that consistent
Mhm.
production. So
Jordan is a closer.
yeah, he is going to be. Jordan Romano is going to be fantastic. I'm really excited to see him pitch. But they got better with the rotation. It's the rotation that got better because you've got Barrios full season. They brought in Kikuchi, who I'm not a big fan of, but he's still an improvement from what they had. You also bring in Gosman. So rotation did get better because I view Barrios as more of like because I didn't make the playoffs. It's almost like a free agent signing because you get him for the whole season now. And they extended
They have
him.
a bunch of twos, but there are no ones.
Right,
So
yes,
we're going-
that's what we spoke about. That
twos,
they've
right?
got 4 twos and 1, 5, because
Okay.
you've got Gosman, Barrios, Ryu, and Manoa are all 2 guys, and then you've got Kikuchi, who's a 5
Okay.
or a 4, and that's where they slot in. But still, I mean, I've said it to you before. I think the Blue Jays have the 3rd best rotation in baseball, and I'm sticking with that. I think it's a really good rotation, and to me, that's what's going to get them the
If they're
division.
healthy, it's consistent. They're throwing a guy
Yeah.
there every night that you know, okay, we're not going to get small.
Right, exactly. I
And
mean,
even if
there's
they do, they got guys who are going to, they can win 9 to 8 games.
right. Realistically, they should win 4 out of 5 games
And
with
let's
the
talk about the
rotation.
biggest elephant in the room, right? The COVID thing. They're going to get teams
Right.
without their players every time they come up.
Right, exactly. And who knows about their own players? You never know. What if there's some players that have the same issue on their team? And that's going to be something that goes to be seen. But yeah, it's definitely a handicap for any team that comes in from out of town. It's going to really hurt them. So I'm happy that the Mets don't play the AL East this year because that would really hurt the Mets in those 3 games that they play. While it only be 3 games, those 3 games make a big difference. And for the Blue
They got
Jays,
9 for the Yankees, 9 for the Red Sox. That's a lot.
yeah, I mean, especially the Yankees have been heavily known as one of the most unvaccinated teams in baseball. So that's going to be.
Shot at the Yankees?
No, I'm just saying it's going to be interesting to see when they go to Toronto to play there, and they're going to be like, oh well, like Aaron Judge can't play because the way it was kind of seeming before the season in terms of, because I was watching obviously when they were talking about the New York playing at home, and you're trying to pay attention, like who are the players that are obviously clearly like not taking a stance on what's going on or advocating heavily for them to overturn the law. And Aaron Judge was one of those people who was like, we really can't have this. And I was like, I wonder if Aaron Judge maybe falls into that category if he can't play. And if he does, that's a big blow for the Yankees, which is also something you have to factor in here in terms of standings, because those 9-10 games in Toronto, they make a big difference when it comes to the standings. Because if let's say the Rays are getting their full roster out there in Toronto and they maybe win half the games, the Yankees go out there, they don't get their full roster. Maybe they only win 2 or 3 games in Toronto this year. That makes a huge difference. So it really is. It's a very big thing. So I don't know. The AL East is, like I said, they're going to make a movie about the AL East from this year in a couple of years. I'm telling you, like book it from now. This AL East race this season is going to be wild. Like, I just can't wait for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. AL Central is weird because
This is the Guardians.
yes, of course. They're also 5th on everyone's list, which is even more sad. But at first for everyone was the White Sox, and I don't think that's I don't think that's really a surprise. Why doesn't this keep?
So everybody's got the Guardians 5th.
Yep, everyone's got the Guardians 5th, and everyone's got the White Sox 1st. What are the Guardians' odds to win the division? Because they're probably a little higher than the D-backs.
They're plus 1,000. Royals are plus 2,000.
What? They have the Royals below them?
Yeah, that's not gonna make Ryan happy.
No, it is not. Ryan has them at 3rd. Ryan actually thinks. Yeah, Ryan thinks they might finish 2nd. He doesn't have them there on the list, but
the White Sox are minus 210. They're the second biggest favorite to win the division behind the
Dodgers. Yeah,
and then you got Minnesota plus 500, Tigers plus 750,
wow.
And then the Guardians plus 1,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
Love for the Twins, no love for the Royals.
Wow. So then let's just take a listen to what I've got. I've got the White Sox 1st, obviously. I've got the Tigers at 2nd. I'm really banking on a big season from Spencer Torkelwich because we probably won't get there yet. I have him finishing 2nd in the Rookie of the Year behind Bobby Witt, because to me, both of those guys, it's going to be really fun out of the AL Central, 2 guys fighting for the Rookie of the Year. But to me, Torque is going to be fantastic. You've got Riley Green coming up, and he's also going to be fantastic.
There's a chance Riley Green actually is better than Torkelson this year.
There's a chance. There really is. They're going to fight both the 2 of them, which is even more fun because you might have 2 players in the same team fighting for Rookie of the Year. And both, ironically, in my eyes, are going to lose to another player in the division. But the Twins are at 3rd for me because their pitching is just bad. I mean, the only good pitcher they have is Joe Ryan and Taylor Rogers in the bullpen. But that's it. And Kent Maeda. But that's 3 pitchers out of 13. They needed to improve in pitching, and they went out and spent money and traded for Gary Sanchez. Like, It really is. I don't know. The Twins.
What move made you more angry? Chris Bryant to the Rockies or Correa to the Twins?
Chris Bryant to the Rockies, for sure. Correa to the Twins made me really angry. I was
if
at.
He has a good year. Is there any way?
He's going to have a good year. Of course he is.
Okay, so is he going to be a Twin for a 2nd year?
Yeah, he has an opt out, right?
That's my point. He's going to opt. Do you see him going back to Minnesota next year? Because he's just the top guy market next year. He has a good year. His opt out's up for the 2nd.
Yeah, but to me, he was the best guy this year too, and he didn't get the contract he wanted. But the other thing he was dealing with was, it depends on the market. It really does, because who knows who's going to lose a shortstop at the end of the year. I don't know who else is in that category, but maybe who else? Oh, gosh, there's plenty of options. There really are. I mean, he might, because are there opt-outs out of the first 2 years too?
Yes,
yeah,
it's a 1-year deal.
It's a 3-year deal where he can opt out after every single season. So basically, he may not.
So who does everybody else have? Everyone has the White Sox win the division.
Yep.
Who are their 2nd place teams?
Everyone but Spencer has the Tigers in 2nd, where Spencer has the Twins. Spencer has the Tigers in 4th. He has the Royals over the Tigers, which to me is just, I'm not a fan of that. But Ryan also thought that there was a chance that could happen too. But Nick and I have the exact same with White Sox, Tigers, Twins, Royals, Guardians. And I'm very high on the Royals. I think they're going to be a really good team in maybe 2 or 3 years. Their farm system, I mean, God, once Bobby Witt is in full swing, Nick Prado's a fantastic prospect. Between Asa Lacy, Brady Sink, they're set. The Royals are going to be back in the playoffs within 2 years. and it's going to be.
Won the Little World Series, Huntington Beach, California, I believe.
Yes, he did.
Saw him play on San Bernardino, actually.
He is going to be. I really like him a lot, and ironically, I told Ryan about this. It's because in MLB The Show every year I play. I do franchise mode, and I don't know if you've ever played MLB The Show.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So there's a franchise mode where you basically are the owner of the team and you make all the moves and stuff. And I just play it out through like 2020. I just keep playing by the years until the next game comes out. And 2 years ago, it might have even been last year. I might have been last year. I played out until like 2028. And Nick Pratto, I traded for Nick Pratto in like 2021 or 2. And he ended up being my starting right fielder because I turned him into a right fielder. But he was fantastic, so I loved him. I was like, dude, this guy's great. He's going to hit like 300 with 40 home runs a year. So I've been high on Nick Pratto literally just because of a video game, which is really funny. That's typically how I am with a lot of these prospects. When I see that the prospects do well in 2027 and MLB The Show, I think they're going to be great.
Now I'm bummed there's not a sport for Diddy and Donkey Kong because I was allowed to be really high on them. That was the last video game I was really into. So it's been a while.
Wow.
That
has been a while.
Myself here a little bit, so.
You are. Diddy and Donkey Kong, like the old Donkey Kong game, like the.
Yeah, the parents may have had an old Super Nintendo and they played on.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe not when it originally came out, but kind of a hand-me-down still. It's old.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So,
that's fun though. Do you still have it?
I do.
Do you ever play it?
No.
You should. I'm sure that'll be fun.
Video games been in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not a video game guy. I'm the big video game guy here. So now we get into the AL West, and this is I've said this for pretty much every division. Weird. It's just a weird division because we are now on here. We're 3 out of 4 are agreeing that the Mariners are going to win the division, which is crazy. Ryan has the Astros, and then everyone else has it flipped, where the Astros are in second. Ryan has Seattle in second. But this is another division where, realistically, all 4 teams there, other than the Athletics, because they're the Athletics, could win the division.
How bad are they?
They're really bad. I want to see what their numbers are because I bet they're probably like 13 plus 13,000.
Who do you think the favorite is in the division?
Astros.
Okay, who do you think second?
Mariners.
It's actually the Angels.
What?
Yeah.
No way. There's no way. That's not.
So when's the last time you said it with us? I know the answer. My point is, it's been a while, right? So 2001. Obviously.
Oh! I thought you said Angels. Angels. Sorry. Mariners.
Well, it actually goes for the Astros too. So it's funny. You have 2 teams that haven't done much now. Will Rodriguez, will he open camp with Seattle? That dude can ball.
Julio Rodriguez. I don't know. He should.
Seattle does have a nice thing going. Obviously, I was kidding them about it. It's been a while, but it has been a while since they made the playoffs. This should be a year they should make it for the first time in 21 years.
Yeah,
longest drought.
They should. If they don't make the playoffs this year, then it's there's something that went wrong, because that line is young, it's energetic. You've got Kelenic coming into his second, which could end up being a disaster because sophomore slump is proven to be a real thing.
Oakland's plus 3,500. So
that's it.
So it's
because the division's not a strong division. Like, to me, if the Mariners win, it's going to be with like 89 games. Like,
it's also not, even though Oakland's terrible, they're not quite Rays status, but you'll turn around and go, wait a second, it's mid-July and Oakland's in second. How the hell do we do it? Now this is
they're not going
that team. Yes, just saying.
They're.
But that's why I think, again, when you look at odds, you're kind of basing off of things like that, where you're not giving the Orioles the benefit of the doubt, not giving Diamondbacks the doubt. You give the Rays a little bit of doubt.
I know, but you shouldn't. You just should. Like, they're worse in my eyes than the Diamondbacks.
Especially when they trade them, if they get obviously good.
Well, that's true. They've got Manaea and Montas, but still
trade them at one point.
But I mean, even at that, compare Montas and Manaea to Bumgarner and Gallen, and it's that's pretty much all they've got going for them.
So we're completely dismissing the Angels, by the way.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, look, the Angels are
playoffs.
No,
not at all.
I don't have them making the playoffs. I'm in 4th.
Okay.
So I don't think.
So you hate that plus 100 number. That's a terrible number for you.
Yeah, it is.
You think the Rangers plus 1,600. See, that's a huge gap.
To win the division?
Yes, that's a huge gap between the way people view the Angels.
Yeah,
but it's big names, right? They see Shohei, they see Trout,
yeah,
Syndergaard. You just see big names like, oh, let's bet that team. That's something that's how.
For betting wise. I mean, the Rangers, I understand why they're so low because their pitching's terrible. I mean, they've got Jose Leclerc and is he even on the team? I don't know. They've got John Gray and who else do they have in that rotation? The Rangers, yeah. But their lineup's great, and that's what's going to get them wins. To me, they're like a tie with the Angels. I don't see either of them, really standing out. It's going to be a battle between the Mariners and the Astros to me, and I think the Mariners are a really good and I don't want to say safe bet, but I think they're a team that should do well. If they live up to the hype of last year, and we saw what they did last year, it was a really fun year for a team that shouldn't have even done anything. If they feed off of that, come into this year, because they're going to be hungry. The Astros got worse, and we know it. They got significantly worse in losing Correa. Yes, they're getting
who you have winning the division.
Mariners.
Okay, so it's weird, obviously, because obviously you're talking about, so you have all the perceived favorites you have winning, except for Seattle's not. They're actually
Right.
third in that. You got to win. So
They have them third. Wait,
Yeah.
so they?
So
Oh
I
my
think-
gosh, they go Astros. Oof, that's
we may want to
terrible.
walk down to FanDuel right after this. You want to get plus 500 in the division.
+5. I'm going to
Put $200 win 1,000
because that's not going to change. I've got to sign up for DraftKings at some point, or FanDuel at some point in the next few days. I've been meaning to. I just keep forgetting, but I'm 100% putting $10 down on there because to me they're going to win the division. Dude, $50. I get $50 if the Mariners, my prediction to win the division, wins. I mean, that's fantastic for only putting down 10. And if I
Well,
lose,
get you 500.
yeah, well, I'm not made here. So those are the divisions, and we then go to the best records. And I am the only one who didn't put the Dodgers. I have the Brewers, as I said before, and I can't speak for anyone else's reasoning. I think it's pretty clear the Dodgers are seen as the favorites, as they should be. But I'm factoring in the other things, which are the divisions that they're in. The Brewers are in a much easier division than the Dodgers, and who knows? I think another really important factor this year, kind of tying in a little bit to what we were talking about with the Yankees, is what division is playing the AL East this year in the NL? Because I don't know what division that is. Because if that is, which it might be,
I shouldn't, and usually I would know this again if spring training didn't start right in the middle of.
well, because I know the NL East plays the AL West, but it never makes sense to me, which is why next year it's going to be great. Every team plays themselves. I know, it's exciting.
Those games on Apple Plus.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that. What do people think about that?
Oh,
The old people not happy.
I actually think it's going to be fun. I just don't like that they're going to do the Max Scherzer's first game on it because then
On
I
my
don't.
birthday, by the way. Your boy starts on my birthday, first game.
Is it really the 8th? Is your
Yeah.
birthday?
So we got 5 teams that actually have better odds to have the best record than the Brewers.
Wow.
Plus
What are the
1,100,
Brewers?
you're at the Brewers. What 5 teams do you think there are?
5 teams. Oh my gosh. Dodgers, Mets, Braves for sure.
Not the Braves.
Not the Braves. They have the Mets and not the Braves.
What's the Mets are to win?
I know. I don't understand. And this is FanDuel.
This is on FanDuel, yes.
What?
I can't speak for what the Cosmo or the winner
Do they have the Giants over them too?
Nope. or the Giants.
Padres. They have
Nope. Or this is best record in the whole league. What did you say?
wait in the league or in the National League only? In baseball.
Entire baseball. You give me the
Oh, I'm doing just National League.
Dodgers. Oh, I thought you were going best record.
Oh.
Okay.
Best record in the National League.
Only the Mets and Dodgers.
Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say
I
because in the AL, I can see them having the White Sox, Blue Jays, and
Astros are actually above them, too.
wow, that surprises me. I was checking to see what division plays the AL East this year. So let's see. We've got the Blue Jays. They're second to last. Interleague. Where's the interleague? They play the NL Central, so that could impact the Brewers because, again, losing players when you go to Toronto because there's every single team is going to lose players. I don't think there's a single team in that's 100% back. So maybe like one, and I think it actually might be the Blue Jays. But every team that plays there is going to be missing players. So who knows what kind of handicap it's going to be? Because even if it's just one player, what if that one player is Corbin Burns, and he was scheduled to pitch in that series? It's a big deal, and that could be one game at the end of the season. Like I said, that makes a difference. So we go to the best record in the AL, and 2 out of 4 of us have the White Sox. The other 2 have the Blue Jays. Who do you think I have?
But you got the White Sox.
I do. Yes. Wow. Why'd you think that?
I have no need for one. No, I think again with the division, if you're using the rationale for why you think the Brewers can have the best record,
Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense if you should the White Sox the same thing.
Exactly. Which is why I'm thinking the exact same thing. What are the odds for the White Sox to have the best record? Well, does that only do divisionally, or does that only do by baseball, or
Hold on.
does it do by league? Because if it does it by league, then I'd be intrigued to see what the White Sox are, because I don't think they'll have them at 1.
For your time, like just
Yeah,
best
only
record.
in the
no, well, I'm just one A. Well, so no, this is
It
just,
doesn't- okay.
yeah.
Well.
It's just I just have the numbers for the whole league. Obviously, I can
Yeah.
tell you where the hierarchy is.
Right.
Like the White Sox, I said, the White Sox are actually the favorite to have the best record of American League teams
Okay.
because it's Dodgers, White Sox.
Right. Okay. Wow. So that's exactly what I
So you're looking good.
So I am looking good there, but that also means that I don't want to bet on it because it means that their numbers are going to be low, and that's also for Major League Baseball, and they're definitely not.
They're plus 750. It's not bad. Is that the best record in baseball?
That's not terrible. It's really not. But yeah, I like the Blue Jays a lot, but I just don't think that they are going to have the best record because of the division they're in. It's just not possible. But who knows what the handicap's going to be? Because, like I said, it's an asterisk anytime you play them, and who knows if that'll significantly boost their record. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting there because it's the same thing as analyzing the Brewers at home this year, or just the Brewers in general. You might get extra wins in division there because you never know. So, and then they play the Orioles 20 games in the season, which for the Blue Jays.
Is Canada's way of trying because they can't get a Stanley Cup. They're trying really bad to get a World Series.
Yeah, it probably is. Imagine if this is still around by the time the World Series comes around. There are players that can't play the World Series because that. It's like, can we please get them out of Canada?
Canada actually won the Stanley Cup World Series same year.
Did they really? Wow.
Haven't won either since.
I don't know. I've been vouching for a while that we need to get out of Canada in general. Let Major League Baseball be an America's sport.
Okay, we're very American
It is called America's
America.
pastime. It is America's pastime, and Canada is clearly proving to be far away from what America wants. So it's yeah,
it is out of Canada.
Yeah, get us. I don't know. I've been saying it for years. It has nothing to do with COVID. I'm just like, I love Toronto. It's like it's just always players need to have an extra passport to go there. Like
the Raptors, we shouldn't have in the NBA either.
Well, the NBA isn't America's pastime. Baseball's America's pastime. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's I don't know. And then you also have to play.
Canada goes. We need to get the United States out of the NHL. It's our game.
Well, no, because it's Canada's game.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If it's Canada's game, we shouldn't have teams here.
But it's like half lose. That's a completely different thing.
Switch it up. Say do things differently here.
So, yeah, I know. Talking about hockey on a baseball show. What on this baseball
show?
That's
like the Ben Zobrist, right? Like I can play a little short, little second line. Nothing great. I can do it all.
That's versatility.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. So I want to go through the postseason first before we get in because there's no chance of getting through all my other stats here. So let's
talk. You can't go ahead.
Yeah. So we'll go with the wild card matchup. This is again assuming that the seeding that I have here is correct. So wild card matchup 1 is the 3 seed and the 6 seed. I've got the Braves as the 3 seed and the Padres as the 6 seed. So I've got Braves Padres, and I've got the Braves winning that. Then the other NL wild card matchup is 4 seed, 5 seed, which the way I did it is Mets and Cardinals, and I've got the Mets winning that. And then we go to AL wild card. It's 3 seed, 6 seed. I've got Mariners, Rays, 3 and 6. And then I have in the AL wild card Red Sox, Astros, 4 seed, 5 seed. I have the Mariners and Astros winning both of those games. Now, I don't have the Yankees making the playoffs. I don't think that's such a terrible thing. I know a lot of Yankee fans think the Yankees might win the division this year, which just blows my mind. I could
stun you if the Yankees win the division. What you're saying?
I would probably. I wouldn't go as far as say I get a tattoo, but I would. I would do something about betting the house or something because there's no chance. I mean, unless they go on a magical run at the beginning of the season and then just make trades, which, I mean, you never know, but that means you have to have a first half of the season that defies all odds. Yeah, it would blow my mind. So I've got Braves, Mets, and Mariners, Astros winning those wild cards. I can't wait for the wild card series. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That gets us to the NLDS, which the first NLDS I have here is Brewers, Mets. And that is the perfect NLDS because you have the 2 best pitching staffs in the game going head to head.
1 and 2, if they were both set up perfectly, it'd be amazing.
Oh God, yeah. If everyone's healthy, DeGrom, Burns, Scherzer, Woodruff. Oh, dude, so incredible. Especially, I mean, the Brewers would host that, which would be a little disappointing because they're the 1 seed in my eyes, obviously. But gosh, a Brewers Mets postseason series, I've been wanting it since 2020 because they just fit so well together. Those two teams with great rotations.
So when you say that, like, man, I've been wanting since 2020. It's been so long. It's just funny. It's like,
well,
I thought you were going to say I wanted this since 2006.
I've been wanting to see the Mets and Brewers, these 2 teams play. I've been wanting to see the Mets in the playoffs.
I've been wanting this since the 2021 season, guys.
I've been wanting it since October. It's been so long.
So you got Dodgers Braves then the same way, right?
I do, yes, which is just also just riveting in the first round. And I have the Mets and Dodgers winning those series, which sets up a Mets Dodgers NLCS, which I would
you
love.
not go to those games in LA?
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
If they're expensive, I won't be. But
We'll take you.
maybe go to one, maybe.
We take all the money you won, Brewers having the best record. And we'll go buy tickets.
That's a good
See?
thing. Save
So
up the betting money to do that. All the money I win on home runs this year, I'm going to throw into my Mets in the NLCS pot and spend $2,000 to sit in the upper deck at Dodger Stadium to watch Jacob deGrom in Game 1. Oh man, that would make my life to see that. So Mets, Dodgers, NLCS. So then we have the ALDS. We've got White Sox, Astros, and then Blue Jays, Mariners. Now, White Sox, Astros is a rematch of last year's ALDS, and then we've got Blue Jays, Mariners, two teams that didn't even make the playoffs last year, two spark plug teams. I've got the White Sox getting redemption on the Astros, taking it home, and I've got the Blue Jays beating the Mariners. So that sets up a White Sox, Blue Jays, ALCS, two very fiery teams that have a lot of passion when they play the game. I think that would be a really fun series. So then you've got NLCS and ALCS of Mets, Dodgers, and White Sox, Blue Jays. Who are your picks? If those were the two, starting with the Mets, Dodgers.
Because if that's what we had, that means the Mets likely are healthy. They're rolling. They maybe added stuff. So,
well, yeah, obviously.
And also it'd be tough to go in Scherzer as well. Like it really would.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Again, if they're there, but also I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming the Dodgers aren't quite rolling with Kershaw as their 3 at that point.
They're probably not. No, they probably picked up I don't know. I want to say who's someone from a bad team. They probably got like Manaea or something.
Although Dave Roberts, right? He's guaranteed they're going to win it. So I guess
he is.
There, huh?
Yeah. Well, he also guaranteed in 2022, so you never know. Maybe
that's tough. Neither one would shock me. I honestly.
Well, obviously, no. It would,
of course, yeah.
It would be one of the best postseason series we have had in a really long time.
I would go Dodgers though if pushed because again the guys who've done it in the big moments, the Mets don't obviously, but Lindor has.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is the Mets built a team this year that has a lot of playoff performers. Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom, Chris Bassett's been there before.
I'm looking more at the lineup though.
Okay.
Comparing to the Dodgers.
I mean, pitching staff makes a difference too. But yeah, you look at the Mets lineup. You've got McCann. I think he's been there once or twice. Pete's never been there. Obviously, Cano's been there tons of times. You've got Lindor, who's been there a few times. You've got Eduardo Escobar, who I don't think he's ever been in the playoffs before, but he's a veteran. You've got Marte, who's been there before. Canna's been there before, and Nimmo was there in 2016, but he didn't actually play, or he might have. I don't know. But either way, there's definitely a lack of experience there.
So who are you going with then?
I'm going with the Dodgers.
Okay.
I am sticking with the Dodgers.
Why?
The lineup. Because the Mets lineup is not as good, and I don't see with the Mets contracts that they have right now, unless someone gets hurt and they pick up a rental piece, I don't really see them going big and getting a huge bat. It's going to be in the bullpen that they make their additions, so I think the lineup's going to end up prevailing there. So the ALCS, we only have 2 more minutes here before we've got to head out. So what are your picks for White Sox, Blue Jays?
Is the COVID thing still in play then?
Probably, knowing
give me White
Canada.
Sox at that point.
Wow, really? White Sox even with the COVID thing?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I'll go White Sox at that point.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the White Sox have a better chance of getting there. So if I'm predicting who's going to be in the ALCS at that point, I think White Sox have a better chance of the Blue Jays. So by the rationale, I'll go with White Sox. You're going with Toronto.
I am. I'm going with Toronto.
Best lineup in baseball.
Yeah. Yes, which then puts up the 2 best lineups in the game of the Blue Jays and Dodgers. I want to hear what you have first. Blue Jays, Dodgers.
At that point, you're going to Dodgers.
I'm going with the Blue Jays.
Okay.
I am. My pick is I'm going with the Blue Jays to win the World Series this year. I think this is
down to the United States after that.
Yeah, they moved down to Buffalo. They're the Buffalo Blue Jays.
Okay.
Oh, that wouldn't be a bad idea. The Buffalo Blue Jays. Yeah, we moved them down. They win. They win the World Series and then get shipped to America. Yeah, I actually
with no number 1 starter.
Yep. Well, they'll probably pick one up. I would. Well, not necessarily though. Who knows? Or someone will emerge. Obviously, as number 1 as the year goes along.
Okay.
So then I wanted to.
Chapman local kid, right? He'll be interesting. That'd be good.
Very interesting. So, do you have one more? You have one more, like out of all the awards that you want to hear, or stat leaders?
Just give me your American League MVP.
American League MVP. Let me get there. Hold on.
Because what did Ryan have Ohtani last year? You told me about. Yeah, he had 40-1 number. Didn't you say?
Yeah, he won a lot of money on that.
That's pretty good.
I've got Yordan Alvarez winning the AL MVP from the Astros because I think he's going to lead the league in home runs and RBIs, and I have Max Muncy winning it for the NL.
30-1 for Alvarez.
Wow.
What about Byron Buxton? Could he stay healthy and do something? We didn't talk once about this guy. Man, if this guy could stay healthy, it'd be amazing.
Oh,
30-1. Nice little value there.
He's a possibility. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily a huge thing, but I don't know. We'll see. That'll do it for this week's show. Jared, thank you so much for joining us. This won't be the last time you're here. We're going to have you on for a trivia show at some point in the future because we have to.
I made it through without someone coming up here and yanking me off.
You did, yes. Congratulations. Even though there's no reason for them to do that, other than someone being upset with your picks. But that'll do it for this week. We are taking next week off, so we're not going to have a show next week. It's opening day. Enjoy opening day. Too. Sure. Enjoy opening day.
It's a good sports day.
It is, I guess, for you. For me, it's baseball. It's a great day. Baseball is going to be back the next time we're here. I can't wait. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.